This is CRE Radio and TV. Today we're going to discuss whether or not commercial real estate is still just local or whether or not the business has gone global. We'll be right back. When I first started in commercial real estate back in the mid-70s, everything about commercial real estate was local, local, local. As a matter of fact, when I was a tenant rep in New York City in the early to mid-80s, I had a beat that was on Park Avenue between 38th Street and 57th. Although I was open to doing deals in other parts of New York City, I had to know every tenant. I had to know every space and all of the information. There were no computers, no online listings like LoopNet, etc. You had to work the deal and know your local zone. That was really hyper-local. Well, now things have changed quite a bit. Steve Wayne, the founder and CEO of Prospect Now, is going to help me on this discussion. You should note during Steve's discussion how he references in the beginning he used to walk around and take pictures. Steve, I've got news for you. When I was a tenant rep, the PC and Mac had just come out. There was no cloud. If it was cloud, it was going to rain. So things have changed quite a bit. Steve, what kind of changes have you seen in commercial real estate, particularly the changes between local and hyperlocal and now a global perspective of the business?
I think it is an interesting thing, because sometimes change happens and it's happening rapidly, but day by day the incremental change is still small enough that you're not aware of it. Do you follow me? And so change is happening at an incredibly rapid pace, but the difference between 2 days is so small that sometimes it's hard to notice. And so I'm saying that because I started my commercial real estate brokerage career. I did investment sales for retail shopping centers. And, I literally was walking, talk about hyper local, right? I'm walking my territory, with my camera phone, taking pictures of buildings and, documenting everything that I could. And what was such an eye-opener to me was that I was going to be the expert. I was told, I was trained, right, that this is what you need to be. You need to be the expert in your local area. You need to know everything about that local area. And the challenge with that is you're limiting yourself from a market perspective, right? There's about 10 million commercial properties in the United States. Okay, so you take a given area. In my case, it was South Bay area. I think, maybe I was dealing with 4,000 to 10,000 retail properties. Well, that's a very small amount. What percentage of those guys want to do a deal with me, right? It's a very small percentage. But if you open it up, there's a massive market out there. So to me, that's the opportunity, is where we've been schooled in this kind of narrow mindset. There's so much opportunity out there.
Well, Steve, if commercial real estate is now going global, should brokers still farm a local area?
Obviously, you should, right? You should definitely be the local expert. There's no question. But I also think that to the extent that you can, in a reliable way, get information on real estate beyond that area, it's a manner of, opening your mind. Now, I see this a lot in the one area of commercial real estate that is kind of a little bit ahead in this space, or in this idea, is this single tenant net lease properties. And they're more like a bond, right? You can look at them and say, okay, corporate guaranteed tenant, or lease, and look at those properties, and they are more national in focus. And so, but the reality is the other properties can also be that way, because you really are limiting yourself if you're just looking at just that hyper local area.
Prospect Now is an online database of over 100 million properties, owners, tenants, etc. What's really good about Prospect Now, in my opinion, is that it doesn't just give you the data, but also gives you the decision maker's contact information. This is not a paid advertisement, but if you want to get to know more about Prospect Now, click on the link to my right. If you're interested in being a sponsor for CRE Radio and TV and putting your logos behind me so that they can be seen by my viewers for the full video, send an email to sponsor@creradio.com or click on the link to my right.